Local universities have announced their plans to return to campus in the fall. Both Kent State and the University of Akron have announced that they intend to resume in-person classes. Amani Abraham brings us the latest on what it might look like for students and also the uncertainty that remains.
It'll no doubt have a different feel. Kent State announcing today that they're planning to hold in-person classes this fall, but students will see some changes, including those 6 feet of separation guidelines, face masks, and possibly installing plexiglass in classrooms. Students would also likely enroll in a combination of face-to-face and remotely taught courses.
So that will impact how many students can be in a classroom and also how many classes can be face-to-face on campus. And we're looking at different scenarios and models to think about what is the best way that we can roll that out.
A number of other universities have announced their plans to open their doors, including the University of Akron and Oberlin College. Kent State says more details on their phased reopening plans will be released in June.
And we've discussed the best practices, minimal requirements, and we're now waiting for further guidance from the governor's office as well.
The Inter-University Council, a trade group for Ohio's colleges and universities, is working on giving recommendations to the governor.
They do have the final word unless Dr. Acton or the governor would say differently. So they can open their campus. Their campus can be open now if you follow state and CDC guidelines.
But at this time, open won't look the same.
Classroom lectures with 200 people sitting right next to each other. That's not going to happen. Those times are behind us.
Kent State says they understand how quickly things may change, and they're looking at all options.
Part of that thinking, too, is what if there's an outbreak? What if you have to close down one of the campus locations or some buildings? And how do you then transition out of that?
There are still a number of unknowns out there, including when students will begin the fall semester. We do know that Kent State is considering going to fully remote instruction following the Thanksgiving break. Amani Abraham, 3 News.